Well, I welcome the judgment. It's an indictment of the policy of internment, a very brutal practice which was visited upon the people here for as long as the British government have been involved in our affairs until quite recently. I want to thank my legal team, particularly Seamus Connells. I also want to thank the Pat Finucane Centre, who uncovered a very important document as part of this case. So this affects quite a lot of people. It affects quite a lot of former internees and their families, and it's important. I consider my time, and I was in the Maidstone prison ship, I was in the Hits blocks, I was in Belfast prison, and I was in the cage of Long Kesh, as a time in the company of the most resilient, inspirational, wonderful people. I'm also very minded that our journey into the cages of Long Kesh and the other places came through torture centres, came through special courts, came through no courts at all. And remember what the British did. They set aside due process. They brought in special coercive legislation, and what the Supreme Court judgment does today is to set that clearly in that context and to say that it was unlawful, that the British government were responsible for unlawful actions against citizens here. I do think the British government have an onus and a responsibility to identify and to contact any former internee who fell foul of this practice. I think that's their clear responsibility. This was never about, and is not about, compensation. That's maybe work for another day. This was about tackling an issue which they resisted. And remember, you see, this practice was brought to the attention of the Attorney General by a lawyer representing the Director of Prosecutions here. And he said, look, don't proceed with this court case against Adams unless you're sure that the Secretary of State signed the order. And we understand that the Attorney General actually met with the then Prime Minister Harold Wilson to discuss this, but they proceeded with the court case. They set aside their own, the advice of their own system, and you know this goes to the very, very top. And it shows in many ways. We saw it in Brexit, we've seen it historically through the centuries, but even in this time, this is clear evidence of the attitude that successive British governments take towards Ireland, towards Irish people, and particularly against Irish Republicans. Today is about a judgment from the heart of Britain's own legal system, from their Supreme Court, saying that they acted unlawfully. That's what today is about. I have no interest in an apology. What I want to see is an end to British involvement in Irish affairs, and we now have a very peaceful, democratic way to achieve that under the terms of the Good Friday Agreement. So what I'm looking for from the British government is a date for the referendum that will allow people here to decide our future.